Hello everyone, it is the 28th of July and today is World Hepatitis Day. It is an annual event and it is to draw our attention on the menace hepatitis infection causes in our world. I am Sister Ozo Augusta. I am a sister of St. Louis. I am also a nurse and a midwife. If you are new on our channel, I say a very big welcome to you. And to our returning subscribers, I say thank you for always following us on Body Gist. For those of you who are new on our channel, ensure you click on the subscribe button, turn on your notifications so that you always get notified anytime we upload new videos. You can as well follow us on all our other social media platforms. We're on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. In this edition on Body Gist, we shall be looking at some facts about hepatitis infection, and of course, we'll be dispelling some misconceptions that people have about hepatitis infection. Do not go away, we'll be right back. Now, one of the misconceptions people have about hepatitis infection is that most people think that hepatitis infection is a sexually transmitted infection. It is not. It is a sexually transmitted infection, but it is not only gotten through sexual intercourse. Hepatitis can also be gotten through blood, it can be gotten through semen, it can be gotten through saliva, and of course through vaginal secretions. These are the different ways we can get hepatitis infection. What is hepatitis infection? Yes, hepatitis infection is inflammation of the liver. The liver is the second largest organ of the body, and of course is the largest internal organ in the body. And the liver can be inflamed due to so many reasons. It can be inflamed due to overconsumption of alcohol. It can be inflamed due to autoimmune reaction. It can be inflamed due to injury to the liver or due to the presence of virus or bacteria in the liver. All this can cause inflammation of the liver, leading to hepatitis infection. Who are the persons that are at risk of coming down with infection? People who use drugs indiscriminately, who use any kind of drug, unprescribed drugs, people who abuse drugs are at risk of coming down with hepatitis infection because this can affect the liver. Then persons who consume alcohol excessively are also at risk of coming down with hepatitis infection. Then people who use unsterilized sharps, medical sharps, people who share needles or blades, sharps with other persons who they are not sure of their status are also at risk of coming down with infection. Then when you transfuse a blood that is not screened, an unscreened blood to another individual, that person might be at risk of coming down with hepatitis infection. Now, there are different kinds of hepatitis infection and it is caused by different types of viruses. For type, we have type A, type B, type C, type D, and type E. That means that we have type A hepatitis infection, type B hepatitis infection, type C hepatitis infection, type D hepatitis infection, and of course type E hepatitis infection. These infections are caused by the virus that is sequenced to it. For example, type A hepatitis infection is caused by type A hepatitis virus. So type B hepatitis infection is also caused by type B hepatitis virus, and it continues with the C, D, and E. Now, there are different routes or means by which an individual can get these infections. For type A hepatitis infection, persons who live in an unhygienic environment are prone to having type A hepatitis infection because type A hepatitis infection is gotten through what we eat in our mouth and through the unhygienic water we take in. That is how type A hepatitis virus is spread that causes type A hepatitis infection. Type B hepatitis infection is gotten through type B hepatitis virus, and these viruses live in the saliva, they live in the semen, and they live in the blood. So persons who come in contact with infected blood with hepatitis B virus can get hepatitis infection. Unscreened blood that is being transfused, when people have sexual intercourse, they can get it through the semen, and it can also be gotten through saliva. When people make use of instruments that are not sterilized, they can get the hepatitis B virus through blood and through other saliva and through the semen. The type C hepatitis infection can also be gotten through, is a blood-borne pathogen, so it can be gotten when an individual comes in contact with a blood that is already infected with hepatitis C virus. Then an individual cannot get type D hepatitis virus and unless the person has been infected with hepatitis B virus. So anybody who has hepatitis B virus is likely to develop the hepatitis D virus, because hepatitis D virus is gotten as a result of individuals who have come in contact or who have had hepatitis B virus. Hepatitis E infection is spread through the hepatitis E virus, and it is gotten through fecal-oral means, when we take in water that is not clean, or when we take food that has been infected with hepatitis E virus. The person can develop hepatitis E infection. For hepatitis A infection has a cure. Yes, hepatitis A infection has a cure, unlike hepatitis B infection that does not have a cure. Now, if an individual comes in contact with hepatitis A virus and comes down with hepatitis A infection, if it is detected on time and treated, that person has a high chance of having a cure. And once the person recovers fully from hepatitis A infection, the good thing is that that person will not suffer hepatitis A infection again. Yes, this is because the virus would have developed immunity in the individual, such that if the individual comes in contact with another virus threatening to cause infection, it will ward off the invading virus. So anybody who has had hepatitis A infection cannot be reinfected with hepatitis A infection because of the first infection that the person has, which has developed a lasting immunity in that individual. And another good news is that hepatitis A has vaccine that can be taken to prevent an individual from having hepatitis A or coming down with hepatitis A infection. This vaccine is taken for 2 doses, and we ensure that we take it 0.5 mils, and it is taken 4 weeks apart from the time we took the first dose. So hepatitis A infection cannot be gotten again. If the person has been infected before, the person cannot be reinfected. Presently, hepatitis B infection does not have a cure. So anybody who comes in contact with hepatitis B virus and this develops into hepatitis B infection, that person does not have a cure. That infection does not have a cure, but the individual can be managed. But it can be prevented. Yes, hepatitis B infection can be prevented by taking doses of hepatitis B vaccine that can prevent the person from coming down with hepatitis B infection. And these vaccines are taken at first. The first shot is taken 0.5 mil. Then you give a distance of 4 weeks and take another shot, then a distance of 4 weeks and take another shot. So 3 doses of hepatitis B vaccine can be taken to prevent hepatitis B infection. Though once an individual has it, it does not have a cure, but in preventing it, you can take hepatitis B vaccine to prevent hepatitis B infection. Hepatitis B and hepatitis C infection can be transmitted from mothers to their babies, either during pregnancy or during delivery or during birth. So children who are born to mothers who are already positive with hepatitis B infection are to be given hepatitis B vaccine at birth. Within 12 hours of birth, these babies are to receive this vaccine to prevent them from coming down with hepatitis B infection. They are also supposed to be given immunoglobulin injection alongside with the vaccine. This will ensure that they do not come down with hepatitis B virus or hepatitis B infection that can cause damage to the liver. For hepatitis C vaccine, we have said that it is also transmitted through bloodborne, so it's a bloodborne pathogen. Though there are no developed, the vaccine for hepatitis C have not been developed yet, but if it is detected on time, it can be cured. If an individual starts the treatment on time, there are direct acting antiviral drugs that an individual can take for hepatitis C infection, and it can be cured. For hepatitis D infection, this cannot occur in the absence of hepatitis B infection. So for an individual to have hepatitis D infection, it requires the replication of hepatitis B virus. It means that the people who come down with hepatitis D virus or hepatitis D infection, they must have had hepatitis B infection. And for the prevention of hepatitis D infection, the individual has to take hepatitis B vaccine. This will help to prevent the individual from coming down with hepatitis D infection. Hepatitis E is also gotten through fecal-oral means. That is when you consume water that is not clean, when we take a food that is not clean. This is where hepatitis E can be gotten from. And there is no developed vaccine yet for hepatitis E in the whole world. It is only developed in China. China is the only country for now that has hepatitis E vaccine. I have said that there are different types of hepatitis: A, B, C, E, and D, and there are different routes that an individual can get hepatitis. You now know that it is not only through sexual intercourse, and it is not even only through blood. There are also means that we are not even expecting, such that eating a food that is contaminated already. All this can make an individual come down with hepatitis. And hepatitis B does not have a cure yet, though it has a vaccine, so it is preventable. Abstinence is a way to prevent us from having hepatitis. Then take your vaccines. You can go to any of the facility where these vaccines are made available. When you get 3 shots of the vaccine, it keeps you safe for 20 to 30 years of an individual's life. And of course, mothers who have just given birth to babies should ensure that their babies are vaccinated at birth. Hepatitis vaccine is one of the first vaccines a baby receives. Once a baby is taken to the clinic immediately after birth, is one of the first vaccines that is made available to that baby when the baby gets to the clinic. I hope we have been enlightened with this video. If we have found value for this video, do not forget to give us a thumbs up, like our video, and of course ensure you share it with your loved ones. Hepatitis infection is real, and it is transferable from one individual to the other. So ensure you get vaccinated for the vaccines that are available, and you can also keep yourself safe and keep yourself protected. I am still Sister Ozo Augusta, and this is still Body Gist. Join us on our next edition on Body Gist. Let's keep giving you healthy gist.